morning, Maryhill. 2017 Windwalk. Here we are.
Here we are. All right, we got our first group of guys up at the top of the hill getting ready to race. We got our Masters and our Classic Luge. So in order from the start, it looked like we had Mikkel, Scott, Aaron, followed by Mike, Chris.
Here we go. We've got some classic riders on the hill.
Okay, just riding style alone, I can tell in the lead, Mikkel.
Yeah, we've got Aaron, Mikkel, Scott, and Chris.
I believe that's our Australian buddy. Isn't that Goat out there?
Let him rip, mate.
Let's see. So Mikkel, obviously out in the big lead. Guy's got an amazing paddle. I've never seen anybody push as hard as him, especially now where a lot of riders are getting used to racing, not necessarily taking advantage of that big push. He takes full advantage. No surprise, he's out to a 20-yard lead within the first two corners.
Here they come.
All right, that looks like our second grouping for the Classic Luge underway. Not really surprisingly, Christian Conaway out to the lead. He's a big buff dude. He's going in to be a personal trainer. I mean, the guy has got a paddle on him. So followed really closely to him was our Brazilian coming up from Sao Paulo. Had some iffy practice runs on Friday, hit the hay bales a few times, but overall has really dialed in the course, and I would expect him to move on to the final.
Well, like you were saying, Christian's out in front. That push is a real big deal in street luge, right? Or classic luge, I'm sorry.
You know, depending on the course, but here especially, it's a big deal. Because if you can get away from people and get out of the draft, you're not carrying high enough speeds to have a big draft pocket behind you.
Okay, here comes Mikkel.
Mikkel easily moving on to the final for Classic Luge.
He's about 20 seconds in front of anybody else.
At least. You can tell his speed at the bottom because he starts with the inside line and drifts all the way out to the hay bales. Not as a riding style, that's not his line of choice. He just has too much speed to carry it through and hold that inside line. I would say a good 20 seconds behind him. We're coming to Scott Peer. Scott Peer, another dual sporter, one of our inline guys, one of the best inline guys, moving on to the final for Classic Luge. So congratulations, Scott.
One of the nicest dudes in the world, too.
Used to work for NASA. All right, rounding out our group. Looks like we have Aaron and Chris coming through. Aaron representing the women's in Classic Luge.
Definitely got some fans down there, that's for sure.
It's great to see the girls coming out in such a big drove for Classic, or such a big drove for Street Luge, and then starting to move over to Classic Luge. That's something we haven't seen in a long time. All right, looks like we have our overview camera up and running. For those that have been here, there's a beautiful overlook here at Maryhill. Ooh, in a close Classic heat. Christian Conaway staying in the lead from start to finish. Frank Williams, maybe celebrating a little bit early. No, he still looks like he got it. Frank Williams.
That could have been a deadly pass right there.
That would have been, he would have not liked that. So Frank Williams celebrating just a little bit early, about 10, 15 yards in front of the finish line. Suddenly realized we had one of our Brazilians right next to him, just about to pass him, but from a celebration, it looks like he took him anyway. Jan the man finishing out his heat. Not moving on to the final, but will be moving on to the Conti bracket. I believe we're running a full Conti bracket for both Grandmasters and Classic Luge as well.
So who did we have advancing there?
Advancing out of that second grouping of Classic Luge was Christian Conaway and Frank Williams. All right, guys, it looks like they're on the line. They're pretty staged up. We're going to have our Conti for Classic Luge starting first, followed by our final. Again, being in a Conti bracket in Maryhill, to me, is still a big thing. I won a Conti bracket once. I think it's the best I've ever finished here. I was absolutely stoked. So these guys are still going to be pushing it. They want to be able to say that they tamed the 2.3-mile-long beast, and even winning the Conti is still a big accomplishment. All right, and our Conti race is underway for Classic Luge.
Here we go. They're at the start. Lee Danzy and I are going to fight later. Can't wait.
oddly enough, there's a trophy for that as well.
A fight.
Best crash, best partier, best fight. Best fight over California's glory. It's bigger than the Mayweather-McGregor fight. All right, these guys run away. It looks like they're staying fairly close together.
This is a consolation run.
Zach's in front with Shane in second. All right, looks like Jan's holding on. Jan the man. Been coming here for, I think, every installment of Maryhill. Come on, Jan. No need to break. Just stay up there. You're a big, tall guy.
Coming in backbreaker.
DC corner, getting through backbreaker smooth. Jan's right there with him. Jan has gotten faster and faster every year, and he used to come out and say, I'm just doing this for fun. I can see the competitiveness coming out.
Here they come. There's
There
some
he
racing
goes.
right here. There's a
Jan
pass on the inside. Looks like a
through
little
the
bit of
middle.
an air brake. Looking,
no,
they're
look, don't
looking
get
at
him,
each other.
Ryder.
No.
Jan's coming out to race today. There we go. There's the draft. We'll see if Jan can go ahead and take advantage. Jan's got a huge supporter group here today, so it's exciting to see how he's going to finish here.
That was pretty cool to see all three of them.
He's right with him. He's got the speed. All he has to do is just make that pass
there's
for
a
a little bit
break.
of extra time before.
Going to the lefty.
Jan on the inside line. Again, back up to number 2 there, right on his back.
Going into the straight into ambulance.
Straight before ambulance.
Looks like he's got a good lead here.
Jan's a big guy. He's a tall guy. He can take advantage of this straight and be able to move up a couple positions here.
We'll see what
Take
he does.
that inside. Is he
We've
going to
got
do
a
it? Is he
pass.
going to do it?
Maybe. No.
Oh, he's checking up.
There's a lot of hill left.
All right, that looks like the start of the first repeater. After that first repeater, there's a little bit of a stretch, and there's a little bit of stretch after that second one. It looks like Jan's a little timid on passing in the corners.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
There's a
there we
pass
go.
right there.
Taking advantage of the stretch.
On the outside. Oh, we've got a third pass as well.
This is a lot more exciting for a Consi buttboard final than I expected.
Definitely.
Let's see if Jan can hold on. Like I said, he's got the weight. He's got the size. Don't let him go, Jan. Don't let him go. Just take that
There they
inside
go into that
line.
left-hander.
All right, this is our second repeater, also known as Green Gate. Oh, great camera footage there today.
Coming into Cowsers.
I guess it is Cowsers. Oops.
Here they come.
All right, give it a few seconds to see him coming down the straight. You get a little bit of speed on the straightaway before the final left. Jan might be able to take advantage of again.
And these guys have been racing super hard.
Take that inside,
Who's going to
Jan.
relent?
He's gonna get
Who's
it.
not gonna?
If he holds it,
Oh, we got an outside passer.
outside line versus the
Oh!
inside, it looks like Jan's in the lead. We'll see
There,
how much speed he
we'll
can.
see.
That's it.
Wow.
Jan the man.
What a great run that was.
Taking the right line, setting up on the inside for this final left-hand corner, and sticking to that hay.
Okay, and then we'll restart. So heels on the line. Yep.
They know the whole protocol.
You guys know the protocol? Sweet. All right, we're all good? All right. Racers ready. Racers set. Go. Hey. Go.
I did first time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Mikkel, start your meter back.
Sorry.
Racers set. Go.
Is this the final?
This is finals now on track. Now that our consi's done, Mikkel, of course, out to his typical lead after that massive paddle.
That was such an amazing consi that couldn't concentrate on the final.
I know, Mikkel's going to have to
there's
slow
Mikkel.
down for us just to make it a little
There he
more
goes in the
interesting.
ambulance.
Mikkel rarely ever breaking form, definitely not breaking here at Maryhill, even on his classic luge. One of the only riders I've ever seen that goes into a turn, lifts his knees up to get a little more leverage, get that weight up in the air, and he uses those knees to lean over. Absolutely, just walking away with it. A nice, easy ride for him. Maybe a little street luge practice run for him on his classic.
Yeah, warm his muscles up, getting ready for the luge. Oh! Big wipeout.
And is that Christian Conway?
Hopefully Christian's okay. Looks
Christian-
like he is.
Looks like
He's back on the
he's
hill
good.
with
He's
the
back on
thumbs up.
track. Taking a little break from street luge and classic luge for a couple of years and coming back now, getting into a lot more racing. I expected Christian to be right up there with Mikkel. Maybe not able to push him for the win, but definitely be in second place. So that's a big upset seeing him come off. Here we go, Mikkel coming
very soon.
through cows. Actually, not in the lead by nearly as much as I thought. I don't know if he scrubbed out a little bit or if his friend that came over with him, maybe he just trained him too good, but by no means is he walking away with this as his qualifying time would have suggested.
He's got it.
Mikkel taking a little look back, holding a smoother line than he did even in the first round in his practice. Walking away with an easy
Frank
win,
Williams.
right with his buddy. Frank Williams coming in for a third place, hopping on the
Pulling up
podium
the
here at
podium.
Maryhill. Sitting up a little early to celebrate. Luckily, no one's right behind him this time. Then our boy Scott Peer
Scott Peer.
coming around in fine form, rounding out our top four. All right, now that our classic luge is finishing up, we have our consolation Grandmasters on track.
We've got a course clear from Curtis Head up at the top. Grandmasters are coming down.
All right, again, a big upset with Christian Conway going off.
Yeah, usually you only high side on skateboards.
Yeah.
First time I've seen it on
I guess
classic.
he should have stood up on it. Could be a little different being on a street luge, being a little lower to the ground. You got 8 wheels instead of your 4. He might have taken advantage of his street luge positioning in his race style and kind of transferred that over to a classic luge and just had a little bit higher a center of gravity and just didn't quite work out for him on this one. All right, Jan, come join me up here. We want to hear all about this classic luge consolation final. All right, I'm here with Jan. Jan, how's it going?
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to hear a little bit about your classic luge semifinal.
Oh,
Or, sorry, not semifinal, the consolation final.
Yeah. That was so much fun. Yeah, that's rarely do I get to see any other racers. They just walk away. But this time there were 2 other guys. We got to duke it out.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hell of a battle. You had a huge cheering section down here, so maybe it's a little unprofessional, but me and Danny Connor were absolutely cheering for you alongside of everybody else. Walk us through the race. Walk us through where you thought you could pass, the times you checked up, kind of the strategy and the thought behind, how it all went down. Because on the screen, it was an amazing battle to watch.
Yeah. At the first good straightaway, I was starting to realize my board felt fast. Maybe that's just the drafting that I've always heard about but never got to experience. But and so I think we were all staying close enough that we were all drafting. And I think it was the first repeater. I had just going to the outside of Zach, and his line just veered a little bit to the left, and we had a good bump. And I was worried that we were both coming off our boards with a big wob, but it was okay.
Yeah, in a hill this long, there's a lot of chances to get into it with each other. There was a few times that it looked like maybe you checked up that you had the speed on someone after a little bit of a straight or after a draft, where you could have passed them inside. One of the times you're on the outside, looked like you could have gone around, but you kind of slowed down. Were you slowing down to not get into it with somebody? Were you slowing down just to hold your position in the back and keep that draft? What was the strategy in those?
I was finding that if I was sitting up, that the draft was carrying me along. it was still just as fast as they were, when the three of us were together. And my board was just a little wobbly if I laid down completely. It squiggled a bit on me, and so I decided to hang on to it. And some of that was just, since I could stay there with them, I would just stay there with them. And coming down towards the end here, it felt good. I was thinking, all right, there's actually a chance here. I've never felt that before.
All right, so we got to see it on camera live here for our live feed. The guys at home in post-production that want to see this, I'm not sure where we're going to get edited.
Sure.
Tell us about when you got the pass to take the lead for the Consi final.
Shane was in the lead going into, he had just passed me on the straight before the top of Cowsers. And really went rocketing by. Caught me off guard. I didn't know he was there in that fast. But the going into Cowsers, he was ahead all the way through. But on the laydown part, after that, I could feel that the draft was working again. I was able to come up alongside of him and then be to the inside of Schwag Corner here.
Gotcha.
And so I just, again, it felt a little hot going in. And I may have touched a foot down, but I tried to hold that spot. And I was able to hold the inside and stay down and slide on through.
Gotcha. Like I said, we were cheering for you. We could see you going into Cowsers and consistently down the hill. You were able to take a little bit more of an inside line than some of the other guys that you were battling out with. So we couldn't see you all the way through Cowsers, but when you came out, we could see that you'd set up on the inside, maybe not quite in the lead yet, and about halfway through this stretch behind us, you got even with them and stayed on the inside. And that was all it was. All you had to do was hold that inside, and you knew you were going to go.
Yes, that's a very rare feeling for me. That was fun. That was
Well, congratulations. Like I said, we were all cheering for you. Extremely excited. That was, for an early morning race, that was the best Consi race we could have asked for. So, again, congratulations, and thanks for coming out.